Hello and welcome to episode 62 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 72, day 8. We have so much left to do in this playthrough, so much, but we've also done a whole lot in the past couple of episodes, just little things. Maybe you can't specifically point out on the map necessarily, but we've made some good improvements with efficiency, laying things out, and just generally increasing production of certain things, but there's still plenty more that we need to do. And of course, we are going to do whatever we can today with the time that we have. Let's get this on triple speed. And let's come right over here to the bamboo area, where a whole lot of you have been saying a whole lot of stuff about this setup here. And I think the best thing for us to do is going to be to not try and fight the brambles while they are still irrigated, and instead wait until there is a drought and this is dried out before we do too much of anything else. But I do agree that we can take a bunch of these guys out, put in unbelievably tall bamboo, blast this down so it has more water or whatever have you. But if we try to outpace these brambles, it is only going to end in frustration. So we have to wait until it's a bad tide or a drought and there's no water here and they're not irrigated. That's the only way we're going to have a chance at getting anything accomplished with this. That being said, there's still some other stuff over here that we can do. I do want to try and expand the amount of giant sequoias that we're growing, and the only real way to accomplish that is to move the grapevines somewhere else. And the only other spot they really can go is where we have these blueberries. So we need to decide if we're going to try and keep these blueberries around, or if we can get rid of them and then have them come out of maybe these GMO growing labs, which of course have their own requirements. And, you know, we just have to be able to supply the stuff. Dirt, glowing fluid, sawdust, and water to make berries. Right now we do not have dirt over here. So, we have dirt. We just don't have it over here. That is a problem with not having haulers. No matter which way I set it, someone's going to say it's wrong. So, I'm just going to click it, and we're going to move on with our lives. But I think since there's no workers in this one specifically, it absolutely has to have this prioritized or nothing's going to happen. Yeah, the rest of these are prioritized too, except this one. So hopefully, that's going to be enough. We also have the ability, I believe, with one of these other bachelors in agronomy, to build another GMO lab right on top here. Of course, that can be connected very easily. Right, like so, and I've got this one doing brambles, I've got this one doing brambles, I've got this one doing mushrooms, this one doing mushrooms, this one doing berries, so this one's also going to do berries in service of our eventual goal of putting the grapes here and getting a few more trees. These are 3x3, so if we want to put another tree here, this path would have to go somewhere else. And that is, it's probably not happening, to be perfectly honest with you. So, instead what we can try and focus on is putting a tree here, here, and then probably here and here, if we are able to put in a terrain block, and then put another terrain block here. That would give us 4 additional sequoias, which you might be thinking, oh, you don't need that many. You got 11 giant logs. We're going to go through those things like gangbusters. Let me tell you what. It's going to be a big, big pain. So I know I literally just said, don't try to outpace the brambles. However, these right here are not going to spread because they are marked for planting. If this one can just get removed, then we can start the process of putting in a dirt piece here, and then we can just kind of leave that alone, right? Because that's going to take forever anyway, and then we won't need to worry about it quite as much. I do want to make sure that as soon as that is out, there we go. Yeah, so I'm going to make the call that, I mean, it's going to be the same amount of sequoias anyway, if I plant them here versus if I plant them here, but well, this is going to be able to reach all of it anyway, right? I don't know, maybe I just shouldn't worry about it. Maybe I just plant these guys here. I could definitely, one 2, 3, 4. I could put them here. I could move these. I don't know. Every time I try to do something, I second guess myself, and then I think, okay, well now, this is going to finally be the episode people say, you know what, this guy's stupid. I'm not watching any more of these videos. But it hasn't happened so far. Who knows? So yeah, I'm just getting rid of these bushes. I think that's going to be the only real way we can accomplish any of this. And I'll just plant the trees here. Who cares? It's fine. We'll just leave those alone. But yeah, outside of that, there is still plenty of other stuff to do. Obviously, we have to allow for all of this stuff to come in when it's going to come in. We can also start reclaiming some of this land that is all sunflowers and cabbages and stuff. We're not picking these cabbages up off the ground. And I don't know that it's going to be a huge problem if we got rid of those. But keep in mind, we don't have a cabbage mechanical farm. So I'm kind of afraid to get rid of these. I don't know. There's so many unknowns with this. At this point, when you're 62 episodes into something, you never know. Never know what you're actually going to be able to positively affect change with. That isn't going to just be a colossal mistake. But one thing that we can do is we can come in here with our suspension bridges. In fact, yeah, it's going to be cheaper to do 2 3x1 so I don't have to have metal. I'm just going to put, come on, this right there to connect here to here, because right now they have to go all the way around. And this is, of course, super far away from absolutely everything. It's 140 blocks versus this is at 71, even though these are basically right next to each other. This, for the record, is a district crossing, goes into the other district. This has nothing to do with this. It's just what it is. We've been trying to make more bots for a while, too. But we don't have nuclear fuel, and why don't we have nuclear fuel? Because I'm not making any. So if we turn the centrifuge back on, then we can slowly get this stuff populated, make some more nuclear fuel, and get more bots going. We had a stockpile here that I didn't think was going to be a problem, but then it became a problem. So, you know, just have to be able to do just little tiny things, one piece at a time. And we're definitely not going to get anything done if these are super prioritized here. So just get those dialed down. Take care of the rest of this stuff. Come back over here. Somebody said that this was set up incorrectly. First of all, I'm not clicking anywhere near the gravity battery. But this says almost 12,000 power supply. This says 3,500. So there is some sort of a problem here. And I originally thought this was one of those other things that wasn't set up wrong, but I guess it is. So that can get fixed. The upward power shaft has to face that way, and then the downward power shaft has to go that way. That probably needs to be kind of accelerated a little bit. Everything else here is chugging along, making scrap metal, making silicon metal ingots very slowly. But we'll get there. These mechanics lodges no longer really have a purpose, because we can make gears just so much faster. Literally anywhere else. So I'm just going to get rid of those. I don't remember where the other ones are. Wow, I have 4 more of these. Yeah, see, none of these even have logs in them. They're all just sitting here hogging beavers. Now I have homeless beavers, which I probably should... Aha, guess what? I can solve that problem by having this guy start to make gold bars, which we do have the dust to make 1 bar. And we need a bar so we can finish this lumberjack statue. See, some problems just solve themselves, and some do not. But this has been stripped bare, so I believe it is time for us to plant giant sequoias. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. And that will allow us to not get rid of any grapes, and instead just have big old trees in the range of the giant sequoia feller, and just move on from there. It's an improvement. It's not the improvement, it's just an improvement. It looks like they're in the process of getting these things done here. Yeah, pretty close. So that's looking good. And we need to check on all of the other types of food production, especially the stuff that uses multiple ingredients, because we have some backup there. And we can definitely use more storage for different materials. The problem is finding somewhere to put it that actually makes sense. There's a couple of you who've been going on and on and on about, put storage up here, put storage up here. Like, okay, yeah, I guess we could. But it's not close to anything. So, the only real purpose I would see for something up here is overflow storage. Like these giant logs, I thought this would be a good place for it, because, well, what are you going to do up here? So, we'll see. We also have these gigantuan ones, like this one's for rice balls, this one's for sawdust. We can keep building these for different types of food, or stuff that's really annoying not to have a ton of. But remember, this stores 10,000 of something. There's not that much stuff we actually need to have 10,000 of. And sure, I could just, you know, I could just build a bunch of these regular old large warehouses that store 648, which is a very specific number. In fact, I could even... Honestly... You know what? That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea to just stick a bunch of these up here. So why don't we just do that? I'll run this as a connector there. Alright, so we have a whole bunch of these really annoying things here to not have a bunch of storage of. So, for example, metal fasteners. It's nice to have overflow of that. Secure storage, we already have plenty. Paper, we should already have plenty, but it's probably not a bad idea to have more. Quartz, again, you really don't need that over here, but what else are you gonna do, right? Glass panes don't go in this type of storage, or else I would have already done that. Hey, 34, nice. Let's see, that's not there, that's not there. What about these possession things? I actually don't know if I've got storage for those here. I have 144 wooden toy storage. No, we can do one of those. And then I don't have anything for shell necklaces. I know we're gonna need one of those. So we'll just start with this, and we can keep building this a little bit higher and higher. And yes, I know this is far away, but it's something. And that matters. We're going to have a drought in 3 days. That's going to give us, hopefully, a good opportunity to come over here and mess with this. These are already growing, looking good. Also, keep in mind we're trying to get a whole lot of science, because we're going to need about 100,000 to finish this playthrough. So, in the interest of trying to get other things that may or may not be super important stored up here, I will humor you. And I will come over here with the tremendously large storages. Get this giant log storage emptied out. If I can. Oh yeah, this one doesn't have anything in it. Let's get these out of here. I'll take these away. And then take the Peacock out of here, because apparently none of you want the beavers to have any fun. And just get these things all the way gone, which is going to give us opportunities to, at the very least, put in some storage piles. So I've got 2 large industrial piles right here. We could easily pop some of these more annoying things in terms of what can get stored in here. Like, for example, glass. We're going to want to have more of those. Logs were probably okay, but it never hurts to have log storage, just in various places. So I'll just keep adding more of these. Treated plank storage, I forget what uses that. We probably should have some of those. So I'll just keep popping this stuff in here. Who's gonna stop me, right? Another one of these things here. Crude saw blades. I don't know that we're ever going to need 180 of them, and we do already have some storage. But we probably are going to want to have somewhere else to do that. Screw press axles, absolutely are going to need that. And then I'm going to have somewhere to put solar cells. So that is about the best I can do right here, just to fill this in. I obviously can't put another one right here because I don't have enough width, but what I do have is I do have space to put a medium warehouse for something else we don't have a lot of storage for. And let's see, tools, probably not an issue. Balloons, I got 108 balloon storage. Exotic seeds, human relics, insect larvae, nuclear fuel, and nuclear waste. All kind of important stuff. But the exotic seeds only have a couple of specific uses. I don't know that that's a tremendously helpful thing to have a bunch of storage for. I know we have shell necklace. I said I was going to have big storage over there. Seashells, however, do not have a storage. This also wouldn't really be a huge benefit to have this storage right here for this, because this has to go into one of the assembly lines to get made into something. Minty bamboo shoots, probably the least offensive thing I could have stored over here. And then I guess everything else will just have to come afterwards. We have a lot of stuff to build still, right? Hey, guess what? We've got 20 bots, which means we're actually in the process of getting this accomplished here. Pilot's license waiting on sky exploration. Processor's waiting on endothermic essence. Somebody said I got endothermic essence in here, so if we hit pause, they will take out, maybe, some of these materials, including the endothermic essence they're not using, and stick them in this other ENS. But I'm also kind of afraid of what might happen if I leave this paused too much, because they're also going to take out the stuff that they're actually using for the research, because they haven't started the research yet. So I guess we'll just kind of have to monitor this maybe a little bit. If I see too much of this stuff come out, I'm going to have to unpause this. And I want someone to come in here and get this endothermic essence out. Yeah, see, they're taking this stuff out first. They're not even going to touch this. Yes, that's not working. That can't do that. This is in place now, which is really helping. Remember, this is like 140 blocks. Now it's 104, which is still bad, but it's not as bad. Okay, they're 59%. Yeah, I need to have another one of these bot standby areas. I don't know that it really matters where this goes, nor do I really have a great place to put another one of these, or one of these at all. So, this is just so far away, I don't think it really is a great spot. Yeah, I don't have a lot of other options. So for right now, I'm just going to stick this right there. That's fine. Because now we have all these extra bots coming online. And hey, they're actually sticking stuff in here, so that's good. That's progress being made. We got drought coming in. We got 18,000 water. We probably need to have more water storage. And I know I'm about to be expected to put a giant water tank on scaffolding made entirely of these giant logs. I did say I'd do that, didn't I? I have to have somewhere to put that, though. We also need to see why our deluxe stew is such low stock. Like, I know this is, you know, the best food in the game, but really, you think it's got to be water then? It's got to be water. Huh. The game does kind of fall apart simulation-wise once you have a whole bunch of beavers and you have all these different things. Like, this very clearly is not how the game is designed to be operating. So we do have to keep that in mind. How's this? How's that? Waiting on glowing fluid. Yeah, we can't make glowing fluid fast enough. Even with 2 of these, and that is... Yeah, it's an hour and a half to make a single thing of glowing fluid. So much to keep in mind. Alright, so 9-day drought, which is ideally going to give us an opportunity to get this stuff moved out of the way. This water is going to get pumped down. This will dry out. If it dries out enough for this not to be able to spread, then we might stand a fighting chance against these domesticated brambles. I don't think I'll be holding my breath, though. Okay, yeah, we're kind of low on logs. Who could have seen that coming, right? Yeah, Every 1.4 hours we get a single log. That's not prioritized. Neither's that one. Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait until they can take care of some of that stuff. Yeah, see, there's not... I'm not growing enough trees. We have so much rice that we're not doing anything with. So I guess we just kind of overproduced everything. The rice balls aren't completely full either. I know we have an opportunity to keep making those. These don't have salt. Okay, so we need to have more mountain salt. Okay, which one of these can I flip? I can. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, just to see if this is actually going to be viable, I'm going to take these out. I'm going to put a mine here just for salt because I know this is what we're making in this exact location. That's going to need a spiral staircase, which I think that's going the correct way. Yes, it is. And then as soon as that's done, then this is going to stick right here. But you know they're not going to have that done for a little bit of time. And now that I'm watching it, it's definitely not happening anytime soon. So we just have to wait. Alright. One drink of water later. Sun's coming up. Hopefully they decide today is the day to eradicate these sunflower plants here. Looks like one of them is taking that seriously. Got one more. Who will be the third? Who will be the third? Come forth and remove the sunflower. Please and thank you. Alright, excellent. And there we go. Set this to the salt. And that will help. Won't make everything perfect, but it will help having another thing for salt right here. Yeah, look at that. I got 23 bots. See how quickly we went from 18 to 23? We're only 23 minutes and 27 seconds into this recording. And now we just need the processors to come out a little bit faster. Endothermic essence again. Endothermic essence is these bamboo shoots. Every time. Alright, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the bad thing, and I'm going to drain this. Because I'm going to need time to get in here. And I don't want to wait for this to get pumped out. No one's going to run out of water. It's going to be okay. I just need to expedite this ever so slightly. So as soon as I see this start to dry up, we can just slam this shut and get to work on getting rid of all of this rest of this stuff. It's still kind of flowing out. Maybe making a tiny bit of power too. That's not a bad thing. Did this get replaced? It did. Very good. Okay, not too much more flowing happening here. And they're going to keep pumping this out, so this should before too long turn into something we can actually use. I'm going to shut this so we don't have to worry about it. And this is the part where I think if this is... Okay, yeah, we can absolutely... Actually, before I do that, we can decide how far out I want to go. So this is going to be one more row, this is going to be 2 more rows. What's my reach on here? This entire thing. Okay. So I need to find like a line that I'm willing to defend from these things. If that's planted there, one more would be here. One more would be here. One more from there would be here, which means this is our last line of defense. This is where the brambles are. They grow back so fast, I don't think we're going to need any more than that. Everything else here gets yeeted and deleted. And I just have to make sure that I don't destroy anything else. I know this is going to be a big, huge pain in the butt. I am anticipating this to be extremely annoying, but it is what it is. This is the best time I have to do this. And I also am going to get rid of these things that are planted up here. I know that might seem like kind of a stupid, short-sighted move. However, if I do that, then I can blast this down and have a better chance at keeping this stuff irrigated. Let's just pause this so I don't have to worry about doing too much of this. So that's going to the right. I need that to go. I need that to go. That doesn't matter. See, this here I'm not going to be able to harvest. This I am, along with this. And this, I'm doing them in 2x2s so I can envision each individual plant. If you were wondering what in the world my insane brain is doing. So that gives us a path going into there. How much dynamite? I only have 16 dynamite. That's a pain. That's a pain, because this is going to be a whole thing. Well, if I have dynamite in place, then this stuff can't grow anymore. So I guess that's something to be happy with. So yeah, this whole thing here just all has to come out. All has to come out. And we just have to let it be what it's going to be. It is going to keep spawning. It is going to keep growing because that's what it does. It's a weed. It's an insidious weed. And the only thing we can do is just get mad at it. That is the official approved strategy. And, you know, put stuff in the way so that it can't do anything else. And they can't reach all of this either, so I'm going to have to give them a temporary path to get back in here. We will have to check back in on this. But the important thing is that we get it behind this line, and we don't allow it to spread. It's going to spread here. That is the... So that's going to have to be here. That's going to have to be removed. And I'm going to have to put a gate there so this can't spread past it. It's impossible to keep up with this stuff. That's why I never wanted to bother with it. But sometimes you have to do stupid things just because that's what you have to do. And now we have to wait, hopefully before this spreads, but I'm fully expecting it to just be a huge pain in the butt. And yes, this is a housing unit used as a dam. That means it has to be reconnected before there's water here. I am aware. Alright, get that thing out of here. And then we are going to immediately, as soon as this is gone, just slam this in here. Come on. Because if not, this is going to get immediately filled again with even more garbage. How long does it take you to take this thing out? Come on. There we go. Alright, so that's one down. So many more to go. Let's get those filled in before it's too late. Same kind of deal here. That can get removed. This whole thing has to get covered up with dynamite. As one does. Yeah, I think this is, it's going to be fine. Well, I can't sit here and just do this entire episode. That's not going to be very compelling TV. Well, this isn't TV anyway, but you get what I'm saying. I just really want to make sure before we go too much further that I have this taken care of in a way that's not going to be a problem later. Not going to be as much of a problem later. I guess I should clarify that. I am also using some of these for gap fill more than I am for actually wanting to plant something here. I need to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this right here, we don't need those, but I do need that right there. Then if I get rid of this, I can take these stairs out as well because this is all going to be the same level. I just have to be able to utilize all of this, and I can't let it spread any further than it already has. So, appreciate you bearing with me here. Let's B for boom. Just so we can try to stay ahead of that. There we go. There we go. And the stuff that's already been taken down, I know I can plant. There, 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 and there. And they will get that starting to grow. Just keep on filling this stuff just as soon as it gets pulled out. Almost through this. Almost through this. I appreciate your patience. Alright, we got this one here, and we got that over there. then I think after that point, I'm not going to care what happens. Okay, so that's going to get us one more piece there, one piece there, one piece there. Yeah, that's fine. This is on a different grid for some reason over here. I think this is about the best I can do. So now we just have to wait to get more of the explosives taken care of. The rest of this over here I don't think is going to matter, because I don't think we're going to need that much. Am I really that stupid? How and... I swear I didn't... Okay, I clicked that instead of the bamboo. Alright, well... That's definitely going to get people mad. Yeah, so they need to remove these immediately before I do something else dumb. Alright. I was wondering why it was going in so easy. Now we just have to wait. Alright, that one goes there. Then nothing else can be planted in that spot. Who's going to finish first? This guy or this guy? Alright. There we go. Crisis averted. At least partially. Alright, this we're going to have to leave alone. I guess that is fine as it is. Storage-wise, some stuff is improved, at the very least. Berries, look at that! Berries are up to 500 now. Is that because we jammed up production of something else? Or is that because I have 2 of these GMO labs doing it? That is not a question I think I am prepared to answer. I also would love to find out... See, we have the materials. I guess they just can't make it fast enough. And we've said this a billion times. I've got 2 of these that are supposed to be making this. And this one doesn't have any staff, but it is still making stuff. Got fried rice. I've got mushroom stew, and I've got mushroom stew. Who do I have making vegetable stew? I think I might have turned that one off. I think I'm going to have another mechanical kitchen. I know we probably already talked about this. But I have to have more deluxe stew being made. We don't have the capacity otherwise to produce anything. So deluxe stew, I guess, is that thing we have to produce. So the giant sequoias that are dry part of the time are just going to have to be dry part of the time. I know I could have put them here and they would have grown more, but I think the grapes are probably just a tiny bit more important for a continuous growth cycle. Because these things take 50 days to grow, right? If they spend 5-6 days every other cycle not growing, it's really not going to make that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things. Okay, processor's still coming in as slow as possible. Endothermic essence once again waiting on the bamboo shoots. Pilot's licenses waiting on sky exploration and pencil sets. They still have my endothermic essence holed up in the ENS. Ugh. So maybe I should just... Maybe I should just swap this to this other one's, but I don't... It's already making stuff I kind of don't want to mess with it. And that just causes a bunch of problems that I'm not equipped to handle. I hope they can reach all this. Like when I get this actually set up, I hope they can actually reach all of this. I guess we will find out, won't we? So I've got access through here. Got access through here. Like, I know they'll be able to reach at least, hopefully, this bit here. That should be okay. This is making planks. Got tons of planks. Now I'm starting to run out of giant logs. The storage here is not really being used that much, but finally our solar panels had somewhere, or not solar cells, not solar panels, that's a separate thing. That's had somewhere to go at least, which is nice. This is making wooden toys, which it is pretty full on. Does that mean that everybody's got one? Yes, just about. Okay, I will take that. Comic books continue to be a problem. Shell necklaces continue to be something that is going to be annoying. Okay, and getting the pineapples, someone said, hey, stop giving away your metal fasteners and your metal blocks. It's not worth it. Well, we also need pineapples. Like, that is a known thing. So the only real way we can get pineapples without doing that is by way of the airship, which we haven't gotten to yet. So, what was the recipe that was giving away metal? I'm not doing the planks one, that's for sure. 'Cause I didn't think I was giving away metal. Ah, that was the insect larvae. No, I need those. I do actually have to have those, so that's non-negotiable. And again, the airship is the only thing that can solve that problem. So, as long as I've got, and I do have full storage of insect larvae, but I'll tell you what. This is a very good candidate for one of those things where we just have to have additional storages. So, if I make this a storage for insect larvae, then we can have another 144 of them, and then maybe I can consider changing that recipe out or just pausing that balloon or whatever. But we have to have those. That's what gives us our glowing fluid. We do need that severely. And now we're up to 25 bots. That's actually really good. That is probably helping us more than almost anything else. So yeah, see, this is dried out. How is this so dried out? 'Cause I thought I had solved the issue of them pumping water out of here. Or is that because now this is getting more power that it was just constantly pumping until this was completely dry? I thought I'd solved that problem. Oh, also, these regular water pumps need to go away. That was something that was, almost scared me. Thought I was going to have the game crash again. Anyway, these weren't really doing us any favors. They're inefficient buildings, and I could have those beavers living or working somewhere else. Which one of these was making the gold bars? Okay. Yeah, see, we were trying to make the gold bar so that we could have this statue finished. Look at that. Look how glorious that is. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Well, now that one, if we're going to make solar cells, which, by the way, I've been trying to make solar arrays forever. Now I don't think we really even need to make one because now we have all this nuclear power everywhere. I think that was the only use for the solar cells, and I already have 4 of them. So I don't know if I really want to have solar cells be made here. Like, I know we can. But the silicon metal ingots go into bots. Those are infinitely more important, and the glass panes go into other stuff that is just infinitely more important than that. So I don't think we're probably ever going to use that. I might trade for some more, depending on what the recipe for that is. See, I don't know. Like, one of these recipes, I think it's for the... Is it for the nuclear thing? I have to have 20 of these laboratory glassware, so I know we need to be making more of that. But I also haven't had a place for that to be stored. Let's go ahead and do that, and then laboratory glassware, I believe, goes into glorious... Nope, that's... Hold on. No, don't take it out. Yeah, I'm just going to have to make glorious storage, which... since this is now a thing, I suppose... Come on, where's my path? Let me get this path out of here. I suppose I'll just make more glorious storages, because I have to have 20, which this will give me more than that. I've already got 6. Yeah, okay, I only need another 3 of these for that. Processor storage is fine. Steel saw blade storage, I've got... Okay, we'll have another steel saw blade storage. Why not? Why not? Let them keep on making that stuff. So yeah, the Lotus is now, because this is so dried out, and the reason why I cannot remember or figure out. So those are all going to be dead, which is extremely annoying. But what are you going to do? There's not really anything you can do. The rice is fine. Oh, I guess I can have them come in here and harvest them. Although I have 1,100, I don't think we're hurting for it. They're going to have to replant all these, though, so I guess it's fine. Is what it is. This now... Oh, because some genius took the stairs away, like that's Edda and Eddie again. They can't actually access this. I wonder how that happened. So, yeah, as soon as we have water back in here, then they'll have to replant this, and then I have to hope or remember to turn that off. It is what it is. I also was going to put another layer on top of this so I could do literally anything else on here, but I don't really have the ability to do that now, do I? Okay, now they're waiting on clay, which they are not going to have because we don't have any water. Those are all panning for gold. This one panning for gold. Is anything actually getting clay? Yeah, the clay pits. There is one. And that is over here. I guess that's fine. Well-being 35, now that all the stuff over here is dead, that's interesting. Oh well. It is what it is. There'll be water back in here in about another 15 seconds, and then we get to just replant everything. It's fine. Cycle 73. 73. I do feel like I kind of have to monitor them doing this. One, because they don't have stairs. They're only going to be able to do a couple of these until the stairs get put in. And two, because if I don't, then it will be immediately a problem. Okay, so they... oh, come on. They can only plant... Seriously, they can only plant to right there. Okay, well... I guess the easiest way to solve that problem is just to do one of those. I don't know if that's actually going to make that big of a difference. But it's going to do something. Now coming over here, did we manage to put... No, we did not. There's absolutely no dynamite going over here, even though I need it. Unfortunate. Well, we're still at 25 bots. Still waiting on processors. Still waiting on endothermic essence. Absolutely no surprise there. Everything else, though, is looking kind of okay. Pilot's license is still waiting on sky exploration. Okay, is this one even doing anything? That's getting the insect larvae. That's getting the human meat. Where's my thing doing sky exploration? That is the question, isn't it? If I don't have one of these making sky exploration... Ah, it's this one. Of course it is. Okay, logs. Logs, logs, logs. What am I to do? What am I to do about logs? Because I don't have any other option, do I? I just have to have this do logs. Just have to have it do logs. Wow, 666 planks. What a beautiful number. Not, okay, just come on over here. Make me some logs so we can unjam all of our mess. And then go back to fixing things, please and thank you. So let's take a look at my notes here. Okay, we talked about the trading of metal blocks and fasteners and why that's not changing. Took the old style pumps out. We're working on the bamboo actively. We fixed the gravity, battery, power shaft connections. We built some more storage. Took the mechanics lodges out. We made the gold bar. We connected the nuclear reactors in the bot factory area to the whatever that is with a bridge. And now we're making logs. Okay. So there's still a couple more things I didn't read out that we haven't done yet. But I'm feeling decent about this. Just need to get a few more logs so all of this can be done. That's why this is taking so stinking long. We're just waiting on logs to build this thing. Come on, man. Alright. Yes, this is replanting nicely. This is... Is that really the only square I gained by putting this in? Is that single one right there? That's frustrating. Now, if I put this, I have no reason to expect that's actually going to do anything, but... Nope. Nothing. Alright, well... It's fine, and they've done what they need to do, so I'm just going to hit pause on this. Get these guys to go somewhere else. Storage here is, well, aside from the stuff we know we don't have, it's actually looking kind of good. Okay, not too many regrets there. Pumpkin storage, we don't need any more pumpkin storage right now. I know that was something somebody suggested. Clay is claying. We can have a couple more beavers working there. I know we have 73 vacancies. It's alright. It's going to be okay. Don't need to worry. Yet. We just have a lot of stuff that a lot of beavers have to do. Not really possible to get rid of that quite yet. I also probably need to do something with this. I know underneath this we've got this up on stilts and it's kind of a mess. We could have put storage underneath this for all sorts of other stuff. But to be perfectly honest, I don't really know what I would have put under here. Also, tearing this up just sounds like an absolute disaster waiting to happen. I mean, production-wise, things are okay. They're probably about as good as they can be at this point in time. Pine resin is pretty low. Alcohol is low. But all this stuff is being utilized. Now we're only 5 logs away from having this completed. Okay. We're making it work. And we're up to 4,400 science. Are these guys lacking anything? No, they're just slow. I need to have more beavers working. I just don't have enough beavers. And we have a shortage here too. I don't want to build any more housing that doesn't also have a job purpose. But I also feel like I'm just kind of out of options at this point for some of these things. I'm just going to have to build something to house beavers. I know the mechanized kitchen house, if we take a look at this, houses 3 beavers, but that's not very many beavers. We got these pit and ladder lodges, and I have also removed a couple of these other buildings that we were otherwise using. So, as I know, as unpopular as it is to add levels to this, that's probably going to be the easiest method of, doing anything. So if I have those be hauler beavers that get added to the workforce by doing this, then that seems like probably the least stupid way of accomplishing this. And recognizing that, let's actually, before we do that, let's do this. Let's put in a suspension bridge coming off of, okay, not that long, let's do the 2x1. And what this is going to do, if it's going to allow me, oh yes, there is no reason for me to be allowed to do this. Yeah, I have to be careful how I have this set up here. Anyway, the reason that I wanted to... wait a second. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. That's just going to make it worse. I want the side door. I want this. And then I want this to get additional storage. And then I want this on this level to be connected this way. I know there's at least one of you. There's at least one who saw me do that and you're absolutely just screaming at your computer. It's okay. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. We're going to be alright. But while we're here, we have all of these different things for all of these things that we're actually, producing here. Bramble flowers do not have a storage over here. So guess what? First of all, I have to find the bramble flowers. There they are. Now there's a storage for bramble flowers. Cabbages do have a storage. Chestnuts do have a storage. Green peas have a storage. Logs have a tiny storage down there. Lotus flowers have a storage. Mushrooms have a storage. Nenifars have a big storage. Pumpkins have a storage. And water technically has a storage. So this has actually improved what we're working on over here. And this one making fried rice. Looks like we have all of those as well. And mushroom stew just needs more mushrooms. So this one at the very top, I think I will make into mushroom storage. And now this can be connected there. And then our hauler storage, beavers who work as haulers who live here storage can just go right there, make it nice and simple. And then I'm going to put another one of those on top because that is the only other thing I can think of to do. I don't think it really matters what direction this faces anyway. So, this is not connected by... Well, that is also something I needed to fix, so let's just take care of that right there. And I guess that is going to be fine. Since this is here now, I suppose I can put in yet another mechanized kitchen house. Do I have the medium cauldrons? I do. Because we also need to be making vegetable stew. What's the recipe for vegetable stew? Nenefars, which we have, green peas, which we have, and brambles, which we have, and now have a storage over here for. I've got one for deluxe stew here, I've got one for fried rice here, I've got one for mushroom stew, now we need to have one for vegetable stew. And I guess really the only other thing I could do is just pop this right here at the very top and just call that good enough. So, hand of soup, we're going to put the thumb on the outside, we're going to put this here. This is going to be incredibly dumb, but what isn't in this playthrough? Just be honest with me here. And then, yes, I am going to put in the suspension bridge to get across here, and this is going to be incredibly dumb. But again, what isn't? And there we go. We have a very strange set of hands of soups. Hands of, is it like attorneys general, where it's, you know, the attorney is what's plural and the general is the non-plural things? That's a descriptor of the... Anyway. Attorneys general, not attorney generals. Although, if you have a group of generals who are also attorneys, then I guess that could be attorney generals, because the generals... What? Anyway. Haven't taken an English class in like 15 years. How are we looking over here? Exactly the same as we did before. Alright, we need to fix that. Who's making explodey things? Oh, wow, seriously? I put this in here and didn't connect it with the path. Alright, that's fixed. Pencil sets. Pencil sets, pencil sets. That's something we should be making in this thing. But not balloons. I have 7 balloons. We need to have more balloons so that we can send out airships. Those are 3 each. Oh, that's what I was going to use the solar cells for. That, yep, airship needs those. Okay. I can almost guarantee we still don't have anywhere closer to the pilot's license. Pencil set's a non-starter. Oh. Yeah, we need pencil sets. Please hold. Alright, so, the pencil set problem is one that we're only going to be able to solve by using the assembly line. I know I need to build more. No, I don't have somewhere to put them. That's why they haven't done that. But they're going to make them so much faster in this versus trying to make those in here. So I'm going to switch this back over once this finishes its batch of 5 to making explosives, which means we're going to have to check on the supply chain for that. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Just glacially slowly. But we are getting there. And that's done. Alright, so this has to have nitroglycerin, paper, sawdust, and explosives. I'm like pretty sure... Yeah, that's still making that. That's fine. Alright, no real issues. No real issues. No, we just have to wait. Which is unfortunate, because I don't have a lot of time to let this run without me doing anything. Alright, I know we have 80 vacancies, yikes. They're going to fill some of those over here. I have to have more beavers working in this library if we're going to have any hope of having science any faster, so... Going to get 10 of those in there. This does not need to be making logs anymore, but at the same time, I don't want to stop this in the middle of production because that's just going to waste the materials. What can I take these guys away from? Silicon metal ingots. Huh. shouldn't really take away from that. I know the, we got 1,300? Okay, yeah, I'll tell you what, we don't need to have 20 beavers working in here. I'm going to take this down to 10. I know it's not going to, you know, help a ton, but it will help some. And, you know what, honestly... Oh, I can't pause the sawmill because they live there, though. That's going to be, that's going to be a problem. I'm also generally not a smart idea to pause production buildings anyway, because then I forget. That's definitely not great. I don't have a lot of steel saw blades either. Okay, I'm just going to pause that. I'm just going to pause it. Because now I have to have this guy make steel saw blades. Fortunately, we have most of the materials. The methane just has to get brought in. I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem. Alright, scouting balloon. Still needs pencil sets. Alright, hurry it up then. Well, at least we're making pencil sets. Clay seems to be in short supply. We already knew this, because I'm trying to pan all the dirt into gold. But now we're out of dirt. That is unfortunate. Let's instead convert a couple of these back over to clay and see why are we out of dirt. Okay. We're still drilling. So I guess that's not a thing. The deep pile storage, I betrayed myself by constructing. I don't need it. Gas extractor is extracting. Factory operating team's making drill bits. It's almost full. The rest of the stuff we don't really need. I mean, I guess we could use crude saw blades. Probably not a bad idea to have more of those, so I'll just switch that over. Just let that be what it's going to be. Any amount of anything over here. No pencil sets. No pencil sets. These are not prioritized by haulers and they're still working okay. Do I even have a storage for pencil sets in this district? Survey says no. So, that is going to have to go right here. And as soon as I remember where the pencil sets are, there we go. Let's get that constructed. Hopefully that helps solve our problem, because I know we have, technically, pencil sets. I just had not prepared for, well, any of this. We got a single solar cell, and I got one sky exploration there. I guess we just have to wait. Not much else we can do. Up to 27 bots. That's good. We're still super low on the glowing fluid. I'm going to have to put more of these giant man-eating fireflies in. There's just not really any way around it. And I don't have a good place to stick one of these. Okay, the solar cell thing could go away. I guess. Let's do this. Let's build an extension here. Let's do firefly grooming here. And then also here. And I believe what I can accomplish with this. Do I have enough metal? Oh, I got 200 some metal blocks. Alright, that'll work. I'll just do that. Solar cells, who cares? Get out of here. Shouldn't be there anyway. Put 2 more of these here. As a reminder, these consume bad water, frozen human meat, and insect larvae. Get insect larvae here. We've got bad water here. And the frozen human meat comes out of the balloons, but I don't think I have a storage for it because the storage for that requires ice. And my 100 blocks of ice that I do not have. Oh, I do. I have 200. But I think that's better used for some other stuff. So, solar cells. What was that in? Balloons? No, that goes in a pile, doesn't it? Okay, solar cells, solar cell. I have to have somewhere for that to go, so I'll just stick that back there. Still no pencil sets. Even though this... Oh, no, there's one. There is a pencil set. Artist Lodge is making comic books. Oh, that's probably where my pencil sets are going. Got nothing there. See, I hate to keep pausing housing because, you know, we kind of need more, but that'll stop the flow of pencil sets, actually. Let's take a look. Goods consumption. And there's still 4. The ENS, for pilot's license, we do that. Okay, I know we need that. Oh boy, what a conundrum, huh? What a problem. Well, not much else we can do, except for just, you know, deal with it. So I'm going to let this run for just a little bit. Couple more days, try to get some of this supply chain stuff figured out, and see if there's anything else we can do outside of just waiting. We have fixed a lot of things. We've also technically made some things worse. But I think it's going to be fine. I will catch back up with you in just a moment after we finished whatever time I'm going to time-lapse. Alright, so enough of that time-lapse. You saw me having to fix a couple of things, so I guess we might as well discuss it. The water level was unacceptably low. And I think that was at least partly due to me taking out some of these pumps here. So what I just went ahead and did is put in a couple more of the deep water pumps that are more efficient and the pump upgrades. This may cause issues when we get a little bit further down the line and we're trying to keep these things from dying again, but is what it is. So, other stuff that's happened is the food supply is a lot less than it was. However, it's beginning to diversify in terms of the end products. Deluxe stew for a while was up in the couple hundreds here. We are making vegetable stew. But part of what's happened is supply of lotus flowers has dropped a lot. Partly because these died, and we were previously harvesting these, well, for lotus flowers, and they had to all grow back, and it's going to take a while to recover. But honestly, a lot of the rest of this is looking okay, and the pilot's licenses haven't started yet, but they're... I'm not going to say they're very close, but they are closer. Sky Exploration's up to 169, and as soon as we get pencil sets, then yes, we will be able to continue doing stuff. They have actually gotten some sky points here, but pencil sets remain kind of a big problem. Pine resin is one of those things that is really holding us back here. And there's only so much I can do about it. Like, we got pine trees. We got chestnut trees. I think I should probably have less chestnut trees, fewer chestnut trees. It's a finite number. And more of the pine trees. So I guess what's going to happen now is I'm going to have to just cut down some chestnut trees. And we're just going to have to kind of be okay with it. I think that's legitimately the only option I can really think of. Just start the process of swapping some of these out. Whatever that may be. And just go from there. Now, what I don't have is I don't have a lumberjack flag over here with which to cut anything down. So that is going to have somewhere to go. You know what? I'm just gonna put it here. Cabbage has not been an issue for us for a while, so we might as well just get rid of some of these things. It is a very, very complicated balancing act that I will be the first to admit I am not any good at. But I think it's going to be okay. I really wanted to add more of these things, but I still don't have this finished because, surprise, surprise, it needs stuff that we actually use, like sawdust. And I can't just make stuff happen out of thin air. Processors, of course, need endothermic essence, which, guess what? Still doesn't have Métis bamboo shoots. And guess what? Oh, they actually put all this in. Now I'm a liar. Okay. B for boom? Okay. Well, now that I have made an absolute fool out of myself for at least the 18th time this episode, I suppose it's time to plant even more unbelievably tall bamboo. And it is kind of hard to see what's going on here. But I think I've gotten all of that, and then I just have this bit here that I suppose has to go there. Alright, well, that is genuinely a little embarrassing that I forgot about that, but it is what it is. So that's going to help eventually when we get around to it. Other stuff over here, like there's so many lotus flowers. I need to be harvesting these. I really do. But instead, this farmhouse is harvesting nenifars, which, hey, we need those, but, oh, that's empty. Well, guess what I can put right here? That's right, a gatherer flag for yet another job that isn't going to be able to be filled. It's fine. They'll get this taken care of, and we'll harvest some more lotus flowers. That's going to help us with our food stuff. I promise you we're in better shape than this 14K number suggests. Water is still kind of a concern, and I don't really know what else I can do about it. So I really shouldn't just spam even more mechanical water pumps, but it's kind of the only thing I can really do. Because this just causes problems. But I also don't really have a lot of good places to put any more of these. It's a thing. It's just a thing. So I can't really put this here. I can't put another one of those in. I guess I could maybe move this one over now. See, that it's just complicated for not really much of a reason. Only so much one human being can do, despite popular belief. So I guess this is where we have to leave this one, folks. We did at least address just about everything that I wanted to address. But there's only so much time in a day. There's only so many brain cells in between my two ears, and there's only so much that you can reasonably expect to get done in one episode, so I guess this is fine. I appreciate you watching these videos, as always. I know it's frustrating, and there's a few of you who seem to be really frustrated at how this is going, but you keep coming back anyway, so I have to assume that you like it. If you don't, it's always okay to stop watching. You're not going to hurt my feelings. As long as we're on the same page. That's all that really matters here. But I also absolutely must thank... Wow, that was a very loud popping noise my elbow just made, and that kind of hurt. I have to thank the Beard Boosters for their support of the channel, support of the videos, and making it possible for us to not have sponsors on these, not end something after 5 episodes because the algorithm doesn't like it or whatever have you. They make this whole thing possible, and I truly could not do it without their support. So, once again, whatever you're doing, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you again soon, and I am so excited for what we have coming next very soon in the rest of these playthroughs. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.